May 20th. Ivo of Vega. What the Saint Germain funds are supposed to do. Listen, folks, day in and day out in the welfare town I live in, I see the reason for the Saint Germain funds over and over again. I'm going to tell you how to avoid falling into the same pit so many older people have. Right now there's an old man, he's 68, but he walks with a cane and is pretty senile, who's moved in behind my apartment. I took him grocery shopping one day and he seems nice enough. He said he hates politics, so I said I won't talk about politics if he doesn't talk about religion, and we stick to that deal. He lives in the apartment behind me with no curtains, not enough furniture, and because he's on Canada pension, he's earning about $1,250 per month, I figure, but he's already run out of money. It's May 6th and he has to go till May 27th with no money, 3 more weeks. Budgeting is so easy. You calculate your rent and bills, subtract them from what you earn and divide the rest into 4. You can calculate your food bill as part of your bills and then just top up with whatever you have left every week. It's a no-brainer. Seriously. But you have to know how much you earn, and many people don't even know that. Believe me, when you're always broke, you know how much you earn. That's one advantage. Yesterday he asked to borrow $20 and I said no. Why did I say no? For one thing, money isn't going to help this guy. Getting smart will go him a longer distance than my lending him $20. Besides that, if he's broke on the 6th he'll be borrowing until month end and then I'll go broke. I learned with Glenn that when you connect with someone who is financially dysfunctional, your boundaries break down. Caring for someone who doesn't care about him or herself is a bad idea. You spend your time supporting them instead of yourself, and spending your money to stop them from having crises rather than spending your money according to your free will. I'm not doing that again. Adversity is a wonderful teacher. The lessons stop when you learn them. Why everyone is broke is obvious: they don't earn enough money. Most people spend their lives saving for their retirement, which is one smart thing you can start doing right now. Obviously this man didn't. We don't know when the fiat system is going to crash, although we're starting into hyperinflation now, so it may not be that long in the offing, but for now we still live in the old system, so we still have to take that into consideration instead of wishing for the Saint Germain funds to show up. We don't know when they will show up. As for hyperinflation, stock up now on food, water, and toiletries as much as you can. You may be thanking yourself for it soon. For investments, they're saying buy silver. It's simple. If you earn $2,000 a month, then take out $100 or even $200 out of that money and put it in savings. I don't use banks for my savings, I keep money at home. If you have credit debt, pay that off as well, because you're paying interest charges on the fast food you bought 3 years ago if you don't. That just seems a bit ridiculous, doesn't it? Of course, a pizza night with chicken wings sounds like a better way of dealing with $50 extra than saving it for a crisis, doesn't it? Yes, it might, but think of the relief of stress a pizza gets you, and then think of the relief from stress $50 gets you when you're short on a bill or trying to prevent an NSF charge. Make sure when you save that you specify exactly the kinds of problems you're going to use that money for, and buying pizza isn't one of them. As for the $50 extra, until you are financially sound, there is no such thing as extra money. It should all go towards alleviating your situation. Why am I telling you this? I know some of you are broke and can't even afford to buy my books, even though they're seriously cheaper than many you could get. If you can't afford $6 or $7.50, then there's a problem. Your money is not tight, it's strangling you. You have to look at how you spend money. If you overspend because you're trying to keep your vibe up, to stay happy, best to let it drop and adopt Ivo's ideas for getting your vibe back up. At least they're free. This new neighbor can't afford a phone, which as an elderly person he would need, at least a basic phone. He doesn't have even a TV set, but what he does do is he goes to restaurants and bars trying to pick up women. He's obviously living in his past, and this may have to do with his senility, or maybe he's developing Alzheimer's, but no 20-year-old woman is going to have anything to do with a crippled old man with a cane unless she can just beat him for a couple drinks. I would know because I did that when I was a teenager. After I'd had enough to drink, I told him I was going to use the bathroom and then ran out the door and called my brother to pick me up. This is also what goes on in my town, and I suppose lots of other places. People are always looking at other people as a source of money, and then they try to trick them out of it. And I get this all the time. I'm so fed up of it. They think nice people are stupid, but you can't afford to be. Literally, you can't afford to be. I figure I have a right to be able to be nice even on this world, but I have boundaries as well, so I'm not the doormat that so many of these needy people mistake me for. I know he'll start coming around to ask for things like toilet paper and coffee, things like that. I'm just waiting for it. I know how this works, I've been through it so often with so many people. What I have to do is decide what I'll give him and what I won't give him, because I won't give him the shirt off my back either. If he's got a headache or stomachache, then I've got remedies I can share, and then there's always running out of TP and I have extra because I buy it on sale. Another tip, buy it on sale and stock up. But money is a no, driving him to bars is a no, but I would drive him to the food bank. It's about him surviving and he's not even doing that. Nobody is my total responsibility except for myself. It's up to me to decide how I want to help other people. And this message is part of that. The fact of the matter is, you have to learn to take care of yourself, to take care of all your needs and wants, and all of your finances. You have to learn to cook, clean and do your laundry. You can't live in a messy dump or worse because your mother does it all for you, leave her home with no knowledge of how to care for yourself. In this stressful world, why not prevent avoidable stress and learn to do the basics? There are plenty of videos on YouTube which give you cleaning tips and show you how to clean a home. Yes, believe it or not, and they're very popular, thankfully. People are learning how to care for themselves. I'm sure there are budgeting videos as well, all free. I find it's been a question of women overdoing the housework, cooking, and budgeting, and as long as you live with those women, you'll be taken care of. The minute you move out and try to live on your own, you'll find you don't know how to do everything because you were never taught. If you marry to have someone take care of the needs and wants you can't for yourself, then as soon as they die, you're up shit's creek without a paddle again. You can't do that to yourself. You just can't. Yet it's so common. The fact is, relationships will change and people will expect others to be responsible for themselves and to others. That time is coming. As for now, if you have kids, teach them to take care of a household. Maybe I sound like an old grandma telling you to do things the way we did them in the good old days, but it's a fact. You have to survive and have a comfortable place to live in. So it's going to be up to you and your children to keep it that way. I've seen homes where people don't care about the mess, and believe me, it stresses out members of the families. Why live in something you hate? I've yet to hear one person say they hate living in a house that's picked up and clean. After living with Glenn, who just moved in with me because he couldn't take care of himself, I said I'd had it. No more men, because the men who are available now don't know how to take care of themselves. That's the easiest thing you younger people can do now. Learn financial management, learn to take care of your needs before your wants, which is what this guy isn't doing. He's paid his rent, bought some groceries which probably won't last him a month, but then goes to bars and restaurants and takes a cab back home. He's living high off the hog on $1,300 a month for as long as he can, and then borrowing for the rest of the month. I can tell he already has sources, because as soon as I said no he took off, and I sensed with purpose. There is no reason why anyone on this planet now can't take care of the entirety of their own needs. No reason. Would you rather have the stress of having to live from month to month on less than you need and having to go without food, getting behind on the rent, and then having to do without healthcare and other necessities because you partied it up at a bar once or twice as soon as you got your check? A couple days or nights worth of fun and then boom, you've got nothing for 3 weeks. What kind of a life is that? So many people think there's only agony in silence and inactivity. I sit silently often, and I find my richest experiences within my own mind as I continue to retrieve my own truth. You can have a lot of fun just inviting friends over for snacks and a movie or football game. And it's a lot cheaper. It could fit into your new budget. This man has to screw up his courage and forget his pride. He has to apply for rent geared to income housing and then visit the food bank to get food to eat. Obviously I'm living among the highly dysfunctional, but more and more people are becoming this dysfunctional because they spend incorrectly. This man can't work, so he can't earn any more money than he already is. The worst part is that when I'm working and don't make myself available as company for him, he gets miffed and walks away with an attitude. I have a schedule in my daily life. My work gets done first, later I relax and enjoy myself. That way I'm always doing what it is I need and want to do, and it does provide me with some extra income so I don't have to live like this guy does. Once I get done what I want to do, or what I'm led to do really, then I go out and get some sunshine and spend time in nature. It's free, too. It's simple. Right now under this financial system you have to look at your life like an accountant. Yes. It seems pretty crappy to have to see life this way, but the first things that need to be paid are rent, bills, and then you need to leave enough aside to eat for the entire month. I keep seeing this over and over again, and there are things that can be done about it. Nobody can't improve on their current financial situation. People spend piles of cash on cell phone plans, internet, and on Netflix and for their TVs. I don't own a TV and I don't want one either. My cell phone plan is $30 a month with no data, so I can't text anyone any images. So what? I do that from my computer. My Wi-Fi costs $70 a month. I'm trying to get off my computer and into my third eye rather than spending all night watching videos anyway. My bills come to less than $200 a month, and then there's my rent, which is very affordable by today's standards. Do I live in the lap of luxury? No, I don't. But I live in a very affordable way, and that way allows me to spend my day being of service rather than trying to earn enough money to live from. Your donations have also helped me very much, and I thank you for them. A lot of living on a shoestring has to do with swallowing your pride. You don't have to admit to people that you're broke, but if you stop spending and start looking at how you're overspending, spending beyond your limits, and worse, spending everything and not saving even a dime, then you've made a gigantic leap in progress. The problem with a lot of old people is they married and left a lot of what they couldn't do to their spouses. My parents were like that. My father was a spendthrift and my mother was tight with her cash, so she budgeted and ran the house while he worked. He knew he'd better turn over his check to her right away because she knew how to take what he'd earned and make it last until he got another one. He only got paid once a month, which can be really challenging. But she did it. I will use this opportunity to plug my book about living on a shoestring. It's called How to Stretch Your Dollar Further, and I wrote it when I was living off of $800 a month. Yes, I had to do that for a couple years even. There's a lot of tricks in this book to help you. If you love to read, get a library card. The books are free and all you have to do is take care of them and return them on time. What's not to love? If you love movies, get a DVD player and buy movies at the second-hand stores. Look for discount days and get them for even cheaper. I watch the same extraterrestrial movies all the time, so this is what I did when I was broke. I still have the DVD player. You have to look after your needs. I have things I want to do and I can't, but that's not the end of the world. I'd like to ride a bike. Maybe an e-bike might help because it would assist me. I have a car, so that car helps me with shopping and getting my essentials done. I had friends, 2 people in their 30s, who didn't drive. I found myself with them in the car driving them all over. I kept insisting they get their license. There was always an excuse, this or that, I don't have money, whatever. So feeling overwhelmed, I parted ways with these people, and since then not only did he get a driver's license and bought a car the same day, kudos to him, she learned to drive as well and has her own car. Maybe my badgering them and telling them of the benefits and feeling of freedom you get from having a car helped. But they both drive now. I did some good. You have to take care of your basic needs and mobility is one of them. Until we learn to bilocate, you need a car, it's that simple. Unless you have a good transit system like in the larger cities where you can go without one. Where I am with this right now is I often feel overwhelmed at the enormity of other people's needs. I love to give, but I give what I choose to give. I believe that giving and giving to another person instead of teaching them how to learn to take care of themselves only creates dependency. It's like what they say about feeding someone fish or teaching them to fish and they'll be able to feed themselves for their entire life. I went through this entire process. As a vegan, I am not familiar with money or working in order to survive, so I had to somehow embrace this and use it to support myself. Eventually I did learn to do it, but after years of dysfunctional living. Do I love money? No, but right now you still need it. So I'd rather run my money rather than letting money run me. Setting boundaries is also necessary one. If you have any money at all, because for as little money as you might have, someone else might have even less, and 2. If you're a responsible giving person, which I am. I look like a lighthouse to these broken people who never learned to take care of themselves properly and who learned to depend on a strong partner to caretake them. No thanks. Not up for the job. I'm sure I'm not the only one. You have to learn to say no. Not everyone is good at budgeting, but budgeting is so easy, it's child's play. Not everyone is good at cleaning and cooking. I'm certainly no Anthony Bourdain, I only wish I could cook like a chef. I can cook a passable diet. The other thing is, once you train yourself to do these things automatically, you won't even notice when you're doing them. I don't spend the whole day cleaning. Not at all. But my house is still pretty clean. I don't cook 3 meals a day, no way. But I still eat well. Once you get the basics down, it's easy. This is something I feel strongly about because I'm constantly surrounded by people who need support. My old 70s neighborhood where everyone took care of their own doesn't exist anymore, at least not where I live. I find everyone's hurting because they don't know how to stop the hurt and the stress. They think eating a pile of fast food is going to kill their pain, or drowning their sorrows in booze will kill their pain. No, it only adds to it in the end. I keep trying to help people to understand that it's easier than they think it is. Ivo, and the Saint Germain funds will be dispensed to help relieve some of the economic stress. However, it will not relieve the stress of your dysfunctional spending. If you continue to spend irresponsibly, then the Saint Germain funds cannot help you. But it is a first step. Having enough money provided to people is a bonus for your world, however you must learn to spend it appropriately. Yes, you can have pizza parties with your family and friends, but you must remember to pay bills and the rent as well first. Sharon is correct when she says that first the needs must be addressed, and then the wants. You need to provide enough food to eat for yourself for the time period, be it a week or a month, then whatever you want to buy as well can be considered. People have it backwards because addictive spending kills stress, temporarily. Ivo, it does. But long-term spending kills stress more effectively, which will help alleviate addictive spending. Yes, that's true. I remember my purse habit and I just bought my first purse in 6 years. Arguably I've gone the other extreme, but I realized I had so many purses in the basement I'd forgotten about that I could just get one of those first before I go buy a new one. Finally I did buy a new one, but that's the first in about 6 years. Ivo, which is progress. The other thing that squelches addictive spending is learning to give to others. Sharon had a hard time containing her joy when she drove into her car dealership to deliver a box of donuts yesterday. A small gesture, but they were happy to receive the sweet treats. I just thought of me driving around in my car with the windows down on a sunny day and there they all are working. Ivo, Athena prompted you to do so. I know. The prompt came from above. It wasn't my idea at first. Maybe they wanted donuts and she heard them asking. But again, I have to differentiate between giving a gift of donuts on one occasion and recognizing someone who will bleed you dry financially because of their own dysfunction. Two totally different things. Totally different. One thing I absolutely refuse to do is to stop giving out of fear of being taken advantage of. I'd done that for many years, and because of that I had to develop the art of saying no. Now I can protect my need to be a giver. It took me a while to learn, believe me. And there was a lot of guilt involved. I felt responsible for everything, which arguably could be a problem for starseeds as well because they came here to change the planet. Ivo, that is why you must learn what your role in life is to be and use that to give with. Follow your passion. Do not feel responsible for everything. You did not create everything here, so you are not responsible for it all either. That was the other thing. You told us that whenever you feel guilt, it's because you are not doing what someone else expects of you. Let it pass. Keep breathing and let it pass. I get lots of people expecting from me all the time, and it's always a question of what I can and will give without feeling overwhelmed. I have to keep all that in balance. I can't solve everyone's problems, and it would be arrogant of me to think I could. I just have my part to play, and I like to help people who are trying to help themselves first. The ones who aren't I make anonymous donations to. LOL, I certainly won't live with them anymore. Learned that lesson. Ivo, indeed. My love, this is a long video and it is a nice day and time for a break for you. I know. My stomach is reminding me. Again, I thank God I have food to eat in the cupboards because I've known times of bare cupboards and being hungry. A reminder again, we're going into hyperinflation. Stock up now while it's still affordable. Please.